Hello everyone, welcome to another one of my speed paints, and today it's something completely different. Usually I do all my art on my tablet, but I figured since the theme is Bendy in the ink machine, I might as well ink it. Now, for a lot of people, you probably don't know that one of my favorite pastimes is actually doing just black and white inking images. And the reason why I kind of stopped doing that is A, I have really bad eyesight. Sometimes I'm all the way down to the table just trying to actually see the detail. And secondly, although they are strangely um, quicker to do, they do take a bit of time of planning and also trying to decide where all the shades go because we are just working with black ink. It is sometimes more difficult. And thirdly, because the markers, they smell well, though a specific type that I use, especially the one to block out the background, they do the job really well, but they smell terrible. They well, not really terrible, but it's more like over time you either become high or you get a headache. And I found that out the hard way last time I used them, which is, I don't remember. It's been a while. But yeah, you get the point as to why I don't use them as much anymore. They are really good markers though. And they cost a fortune. Well, art costs a fortune. It's no joke, it is such an expensive hobby. I wouldn't recommend it unless you were super passionate. Oh, who am I kidding? Just go out and do art if you want to, but I'm just warning you, it costs a lot of your patience and your time and your lifeline. Uh, the reason why I started doing black and white was actually during my uni year. I realized that if I were to ever do comics properly, I'd have to only work with black and white. So that resulted in me just kind of starting to do it and then realizing that I had a kind of interesting style of doing it. I don't know, like, I personally really enjoy how most of my black and whites turn out. And sometimes I think they're better than my colored ones when it comes to hand drawn. Because unfortunately, with color markers, it's not the same when you're trying to put down a pigment. I don't like how sometimes it leaves a kind of like an after effect when it comes to colors. Even Copic markers have a problem with doing that. So, um, Copic markers are good, but I don't really think they're that good. They're overhyped. Don't come for me. They are overhyped. That's how I feel anyway. They don't blend very well sometimes, and their pigments run out way too quickly. So, and they're costly. I spent 200 quid on mine. So that's why I painstakingly try and finish them up because I spent 200 quid on it. Another marker that I don't particularly enjoy are pro markers, but this is the type that it's the twin tip, and one is the point and the other one is the slanted slide. They're good for say like blocking in images, but like copy markers, they leave a funny residue behind. But one thing I do enjoy, and you'll see me using it later, but I do use pro markers when I draw black and white, because the black just works surprisingly well with the Copic one. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just my eyes. I don't think it's black enough. It just it doesn't block as well. So that's kind of my go-to tool. And the other one that I said that makes you high, it's called AG marker, and the color I use is super black, and it's by the company Shark Pack. That one's really expensive. It's made in the USA, so for me, I had to find a website that actually does it. I actually discovered the marker when I was studying in uni because we would get like all sorts of, discounted stuff in the shop in our like uni. So that's how I discovered that But yeah, so I spent most of my final course like um high on these freaking markers and wanting to vomit sometimes. But art life, artist life. Anyway, I think you guys have heard enough about my life as an artist in uni. It's not really changed much apart from the fact that I don't get discounts anymore. Let's move on to the actual drawing today. The character I'm drawing is Alice Angel, in case you haven't read in the title, from Bendy and the Ink Machine. And I just find her design really cute. I'm not going to spoil much about the game. It is a horror game. You know how much I love horror games, like The Witch's House. Please, please play The Witch's House if you have Steam and Windows, because I can't play it, so please somebody go out and play it for me. I did manage to play it at my friend's house, but it's not enough. I bought it on Steam myself, but I can't play it because I own a Mac. But anyway, yeah, so it is another horror game. The big difference is it is first person, so it is a little bit more scary. Like for me, I still haven't played it myself, even though I own it, and that's the first Switch game I own on my Switch. Um, and eventually I'll go to playing it, but right now I think I'm still kind of thinking, oh god, how will I deal with this? But I've watched people play it all the way through, and I quite like the storyline. It's quite simple. You show up at this, you know, animation studio, and then shit goes down. The ink attacks you. Um, but that is, I guess, all I will reveal about the game. I have yet to draw Bendy because I've been trying to kind of come up with interesting designs for Bendy, but in fact, you don't really see much of his character despite him being the main character. Or maybe I haven't quite grasped his character yet. While Alice Angel in a lot of the posters, she's cute, she's sweet, like, and I just figured that she would be the best one that I can draw. And fun fact, this isn't the first time I've drawn her. I actually drew her as a commission ages ago at one of the cons, like an on the day commission. But unfortunately, my phone at that time just messed up and it didn't actually take a photo of the image. So I don't even have it on file, which is a bit of a shame because I would have loved to compare how different the art looks now. Uh, but yeah, I really enjoy her, and one of my friends suggested that I should cosplay her, but effort. It's effort. Well, by like standards of the video game, she doesn't exactly look like that in the video game. You'll see what I mean if you head over to some channels and watch them. I watched Jacksepticeye play it, and I quite enjoyed his playthrough, but there are plenty of others that have done the playthroughs, and they have just all been just as good. And Game Theory has done some very interesting theories, and also Super Horror Bro also does quite interesting theories about it. In fact, he just goes on about it. He's following the game quite heavily, and even with the new late releases, he's covering those. So if you are interested, head over to those channels. I'm not sponsored. I just watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. I put it in the background all the time. But anyway, I think this is all I have to say about the game. I personally really liked it. I know there's a lot of things about the ending that some people didn't like, but that it's really hard to say much about it without spoiling it because unlike The Witcher's House, you could get a lot of stupid deaths. It's not the same in this one, and it is actually quite terrifying in places. Let's just put it this way: I never really scream at things, and I screamed at one point when I was watching it on the big TV with my sister in the dark. I know, clever choices, but I wonder what her neighbors felt. But it was it's a nice experience to watch other people play it. So I can't wait to actually go play it myself, and I can't wait for the next announcement and to see what this new um, game is about that they've been teasing. Like, I think their name is Demetly. No, I think they changed their name recently to Gentle, Gently Beast. I can't remember. I need to double check on that. But anyway, that is also quite like interesting. All the trailers they brought out, they've brought out a lot for us to look at, but also not enough at the same time. It's very clever, I would say, and it really keeps you in suspense. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed me talking through this. But I still need some topics to talk about because currently I don't think I have enough people that will actually be curious enough about Q&As and stuff. And I don't really want to be boring people with my own like life unless people actually want to hear about my weird life and my weird story times because I have a few up my own sleeve. But eventually I'm going to run out of ideas of what to talk about because I can't talk about like the Witcher's house again and again when I'm drawing it. So, or like if I did a picture of Bendy, what would I talk about then? Like a very vague description of the video game again? Anyways, thank you for watching and I hope you have a good day and uh go forth and enjoy Bendy and the Ink Machine. Goodbye!